I put the Latin name, I put the day, the month I planted it, the year, and where I sourced it from.
Everybody asks me, how close do you plant your trees? 20 foot apart, 20 foot rows, 20 foot of the trees apart. But when you're doing a smaller yard...
Do you cut your trees every year?
Yes.
Right after you pick the mangoes?
As soon as I can, right after, yeah. This is a South Florida persimmon. It was planted in 2017. It was a grafted one that Mike had picked up at Zill's. This one here is a lemon meringue. One of my favorites. This here is a Venus mango. This was planted last August.
I like M4. She's not as crazy about the M4. I would go with Sugarloaf or M4.
My neighbor, Ira Smith, has a mame that fruited after 20 some odd years, and it was the best fruit I've ever had.
If I was going to do a grove, I would plant it Maha and Sweet Tart.
Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. We are at a yard here today, a little bit north of me, about 40 minutes north of me. This is Ruth. Hi Ruth, how you doing?
How you doing, Paul?
Great name, great yard, great day, beautiful weather. We're at the end of November 2024. Ruth has a bunch of signs next to her trees that shows when she planted them, and we're gonna go check it out today. How long have you been here?
Since full-time 2016.
When you moved here, were there any fruit trees?
One papaya.
One papaya. What's the oldest tree on a property?
Other than the fruit trees?
Yeah, other than the papaya.
Oh, it would be a sapodilla and a mango.
Okay. Well, we're going to hear the story, the background about Ruth, how she got into growing trees. And Mike from Trees and More is going to be with us today walking around because he lives right near here and they're great friends. And Mike's Trees and More is an amazing nursery. I'm going to put the link below to that. Please, if you're serious about fruit trees, go visit Mike. I'll put links below to videos I did with Mike. Tremendous amount of knowledge, but if you get there in the summer, you'll see his trees fruiting. It's absolutely amazing. So we're going to have a great time. You're going to show us around today,
yes,
right? All right.
Forward to it.
All right, everybody, here we go. Hello, everybody. Here we are at Hope Sound, Florida area. This is Mike from Trees and More. How you doing, Mike?
How you doing?
Amazing trees. I'm going to put links below down to his videos. And every time I go here, I pass this house, and it looks amazing. This is Ruth.
Hi.
Ruth from the Martin County
Master Gardeners.
Master Gardeners. Ruth, how long have you been at this property?
Since 2015.
Okay.
And I got hit with the fruit tree bug.
Okay.
And Mike became my dealer, my primary dealer, a source for my fruit trees.
So what happened when you were growing up? Did you grow trees or have any idea, or did this happen later?
Well, it started, I moved down here from Boston, so we started doing some tropical fruit trees in Boston, citrus, a banana, some passion fruit. But then when it came down here and we bought this place, I had the space to grow. And I got really excited, and doing edibles is just fantastic. So I love orchids and I love the ornamentals, but really getting involved with the edibles and the variety that you had with tropical fruit is just amazing.
So what year did you get this house?
2015. And I moved down here full-time 2016 when I retired.
Is that when you started buying the trees?
Correct.
Okay. And Mike's 5 minutes from here or so.
Yeah, just about, yeah. And he became a great resource. I have neighbors around the corner who've been, Ira Smith, who is president of the Rare Fruit Council in Palm Beach in the 90s, is an avid grower, and his yard is all mature trees. And I just got really excited and kept adding and adding and adding. So the count's over 150 now.
So he's still there?
Yes.
We got to go check that out one day.
You do.
Okay. So for now, how big's your property?
It's just under 2¼ acres.
2¼ acres.
Correct.
Okay. And when you planted your trees, did you advise Iris and Mike about like how far and what you should do, or did you just do it on your own feelings?
No, I had a lot of consultation with it, and then it would still be gut instinct. You know,
Okay.
I got space here, let's put something here, this should work. And when it hasn't worked, I've yanked it.
Okay.
So I've gotten now very discriminatory. If you're not going to produce, and if I've given it enough time, and Mike's always yelling at me, you got to give it more time, more time. If it doesn't work, it gets yanked and replaced.
Well, give us an example before we get started with a tour of your amazing yard.
Right here, your example.
Of what hasn't worked.
Oh, what hasn't worked?
Is that...
This one over here.
No, that one has worked. That's a lula.
Something you took out. What
I
has
took out a white sapote and I took out a jackfruit because my field that we'll go through gets very wet in the summer, and I had planted it too low, and was not enough drainage, so the trees were not happy and not producing well. I took out an avocado that was planted too low.
None of them like wet feet.
Correct.
How's the drainage out here in general?
It's pretty good. The field stays wet, so I've been able to put mangoes and lychees in there because they can absorb the water, jaboticaba, that sort of thing.
Do you have anything on irrigation here?
Yes, I do have sprinkler system. Right now, I run it about 3 times a week, half hour each zone.
Is it from a well?
Correct.
Is it near each tree, or it just sprinkles everything?
It's not near each tree. It's just a widespread.
Is this an HOA area?
Yes.
Are you allowed to plant fruit trees?
Yes.
In an Okay.
It's a very minimalistic HOA.
All right. Well, everyone's excited about the tour, and so am I. So take us around. And Mike, how many of these trees do you think she got from you?
The tags are on them, a lot of them.
Okay. All right.
And plus, she goes with me to different places. She's been with me we go to Zane's. Zane's is one of my favorite places to go. We go to Zane's. We go to Fruitscapes. We went to Tampa to look at Adam Moyes. Left at 3 o'clock in the
We
morning.
went to Port Charlotte and bought Adam Moyes.
Yeah.
Wow. And we had the Mango Fest last year. You were there as well?
Yes, I was there,
okay.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, Mike's been teaching me grafting, so my new iteration is into grafting and creating the trees, which is really exciting.
Well, it's exciting to live so close to Mike. If I lived here, I'd be at Trees and More like every day. And
what fruit you got ready today? I found a monstera on the ground today.
Wow.
That's a treasure.
Yeah. On the ground, too.
Yeah, it fell off.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take us around here, Ruth. This place is amazing.
Thank you.
So what do we got right here?
This is a Malika. I bought it as a, what's the dwarf one? It was supposed to be a dwarf, but it wasn't. It ended up being a Malika.
So it was a mislabel.
Mislabeled.
I know you didn't get that from Mike.
No, that came from the Palm Beach Rare Fruit Council.
Okay, there you go. Mike labels his stuff good. You're not going to get a mislabel from this guy.
Crayons and everything else.
Yeah.
So I took the fruit and I had some people identify it, and it is truly a Malika.
Malika.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've tried to keep it manageable. I wouldn't have planted it right in the front if I knew it was going to be so big.
Well, I love the way you're keeping it. Do you keep all your trees, or is this just because it's in the front?
No, I'm trying to keep all of them in that 10 by 10 or 12 by 12 range so I can get the fruit.
Wow, really nice. And I love the labels. Oh, tell me about your labels.
Thank you. I teach the fruit class for the Martin County Master Gardeners. So what I put on there is what it is. It was supposed to be a Pickering, but it ended up being a Malika. I put the Latin name. I put the month I planted it, the year, and where I sourced it from. And I also keep a spreadsheet, but that way I know what it is.
And where'd you get these stakes from?
Oh, you buy them, the gardening magazines.
All right.
And then I make the labels and I put the UV on it so they last about a year or two before the sun. I have to replace them.
Okay, remember to replace them so you know, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so that's Malika, a great mango, wonderful. And every place has its own microclimate, so some trees that do better in one area might not do better in the other. And I'm not only talking about areas, I'm talking about across the street.
Well, even in your yard, each area is a little different.
Exactly. Okay, we're going to go to the next. For the sake of the video, everybody, right now it's December 2024. Okay,
the next one, this is a Kent mango. And the Kent mango, put in for sentimental reasons. I get good fruit off it.
Stand in front of the tree. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get good fruit off it. It can get sometimes a little bit of sooty mold or anthracnose, but for the most part, if I keep it sprayed with copper a couple of times, everything is good. And the fruit are quite large.
Now, this tree is known to have bacterial black spot here, at least in Palm Beach County. How about up here?
I have not had it, knock on wood.
Okay. And this is normally a big tree. You keep it perfect size.
I'm keeping it manageable.
So when that's fruiting, how many fruits would you say you get on a tree that size?
Oh, I don't know, dozens?
Dozens.
3 dozen, 4 dozen.
And Mike, what's your opinion about like the size, keeping trees this size for smaller yards?
Well, if you have a smaller yard, yeah. I mean, I would keep them under control, especially with the people that do the planting closer together. Everybody asks me, how close do you plant your trees? 20 foot apart, 20 foot rows, 20 foot of the trees apart. But when you're doing a smaller yard, you just and she does have 2 acres to plant on. So
Yeah.
and as we go through here, you'll see she's got a lot of trees. This was one of mine.
Yes.
Trees and more.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of mine.
Wow.
Yeah, that was one of the first mangoes I planted. You can see,
The date?
yeah, this was 2016.
Okay. Now, some people question a big tree like this, if you keep it small, will it eventually create issues with fruiting when you keep a big tree small?
No, because she keeps cutting the bigger limbs out, and keeping it under control. This is all new growth. I mean, this is where you're going to get your fruit. So it's fine like that.
And everybody, if you keep a tree this size, you could definitely get away with 10 feet spacing, definitely,
Oh, yeah.
if you keep it this size. But if you want to go bigger, you're going to have an issue with it.
Well, like you have pictures of my groves.
Yes.
That's why they're so far apart, because I have a little bit bigger trees, which I believe produce more fruit. And I've had people argue with that, but I don't see how you're going to get a ton of fruit off of a real small tree.
Now, that's a great question. So your trees are 20 feet apart, a little bit bigger. And this is for 10-foot space in a tree like this, which looks great. How much of a difference are we talking about in how much more fruit you get? Do you get double the amount, do you think? Or do you get a little bit more?
It all depends on the year. Like this year, we sold no mangoes because it was a bad year, and I kept everything for the family, feeding 10, 12 people. It all depends on your location and everything too, like you say. I mean, everything matters. It depends.
But here's a question, and this is why a lot of people that even have the room, they do the high density because they say, okay, you can plant one tree here that's the size of your trees to keep it at, and you have the room for 20 feet apart. Or if you had the option, you could have one tree at 10 feet apart, another tree, and keep them this size.
Okay, my cherry tree, which is enormous. We've never topped it or anything. We trim around the bottom to keep it off the ground. I've had 1,000 fruit on that tree before. We've had so many fruit.
Yeah, but that tree you need 30 feet. That's a big tree.
Right, but if you look at the Maha Chinook behind you, that's my Maha Chinook, and I have had double the production than Mike's had on his Maha Chinooks.
Really?
Yes. And that tree produces hundreds of fruit.
Beautiful size. Now,
That's about the same size as my Mahas, though. That we keep them, they're about that same size.
but the question is, even in this case, if she has another tree right next to it 10 feet, or has one tree in the middle at 20 feet spacing, which total of the 2 trees is she going to get more mangoes? From those 2 trees that are 10 feet apart, or the one tree that's 20 feet?
I don't know if you can make a generalization.
Yeah,
Because that's the claim that people do high density is why they do it. They say, well, yeah, you're going to get less per this tree, but if you have another tree close,
you'll get more.
You'll get more total than you would if you just had one big tree.
I've had some of the sweet tart. I mean, I've had those 3 sweet tarts that I had loaded with fruit. So much fruit that they break the limbs.
Sure.
I mean, it's just way too much. Have to thin some of it out because it's breaking limbs.
A good thing about keeping them this low too is hurricanes.
Hurricanes, and the other thing is keeping them open.
Yeah.
The hard part I have is when I prune it in August after the last fruit, I try and prune it so it's open, and then the tree decides it wants to fill in that space with new growth.
When you mean open, you mean in the middle?
Yeah, so the air can flow through it.
Sure.
That to me is really key for your health of your mango tree.
And people are scared to cut back their trees. Do you cut your trees every year?
Yes.
Right after you pick the mangoes?
As soon as I can, right after, yeah.
They'll let you wait for the last one to show, or do you stop picking it when it starts getting low?
No, I cut them after I pull the last fruit. So I'm done by the end of August and trimming all my mangoes.
Now, if there's like 3 or 4 fruit hanging on, is it too early to start trimming the ones that already fruited, or not really?
No.
Okay. And it doesn't affect the fruit for next year if you cut it at that point.
No.
You should be okay. Very good. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Okay, this one here is the Lula, I call it Super Lula Avocado. It is absolutely fantastic. And this is one where I planted it, let me just double check the date. I planted it in 2017. And I really didn't get fruit for 4 years. And I was going to yank it because it's not producing. But then it just went crazy.
Wow.
And it has the most gorgeous fruit, and it will hold fruit through March. You know, I'll start getting out. The mistake I made this past year is I left the fruit on and then take it off. And as a result, it didn't really bloom to set new fruit for this past year. So my lesson learned is I have to make sure the fruit's all off the tree, even though it's holding, have it off the tree so that it will set another flower.
Interesting. Good point.
We're doing this tree now.
Yeah, we've been grafting it.
Same thing. People don't wait. They have a tree and they don't get fruit for 3 years or whatever. It's no good. They're going to pull it out and throw it away. This one took longer to.
So 4 years to get fruit.
But
But
now,
we had how many? We had a couple hundred fruit on
And
it.
that's the thing about avocado trees, everybody. Unless you're selling them commercially, you don't need an avocado tree bigger than this because this will get all the fruit you need. And they're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
plenty.
And it's a great avocado. The only drawback is the seed is a little big for the flesh rate. But besides that, it's an amazing avocado.
It's amazing, and it just, you know, it will last for a long time.
Now, here's an
And
interesting-
You make
okay.
guacamole with this, it doesn't turn brown.
Wow.
The flesh stays green.
Here's something interesting. I have this tree, and my tree's loaded right now. Why is there no avocados on this tree?
Because I left the fruit on too long, so it didn't
flower.
bloom.
Oh, this year it didn't fruit because last year you left it on
Correct.
too long.
She pulled the last fruit off this tree in March. Or
No, it was April.
March and April.
Oh, wow.
April. Acme.
Yes.
Yeah, I started pulling them off in the end of October, and I left them on thinking they'd be fine, but it interrupted the bloom.
So how long should a person, when is the best time to pull them off to get ready for next season? 12 months? Like, when do you wait? Like, when do you know
See,
how?
it's starting to...
To flower now.
It's starting to push new growth and new flowers now. So you want to have it off, I would say, by February.
February.
By February for this
Yeah.
variety, and each
For this
variety is
variety,
different.
yeah.
But if you have avocados, it would be wise to have a chart and figure it out
Correct.
so you know.
Now, you were saying that the seed on this one's big. Lula and Walden is what we use for rootstock. When I can get Walden, I use Walden. When we don't have Walden, we'll use Lula too. I used Lula and Walden one year.
Yeah, and when we had all the fruit, you planted 100 of these seeds,
All these seeds we plant.
and they all the grafts took.
Nice,
was like-
nice.
You know, if they don't take the first time, we regraft them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do we got here?
Oh, this is a new one. This is a coggshall. This just went in November. It's a more dwarf variety.
Yeah.
I had another plant there. I yanked it, and I replaced it with
What do you yank?
a bird of paradise.
Okay. Now, of all the mangoes out there, I mean, is Cogswell like one you said I have to have? Because
No, it just was the right time compared to everything else when it fruited compared to everything else I had.
yeah.
And it was a little smaller. And I like it's a very typical taste. It's
Yeah.
good. And it's a smaller tree.
yeah, it's a smaller tree. That's great. And how far is that tree from this tree and that tree? 15 feet, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but this one will stay controllable.
Sure.
It does get to be a bigger tree.
Yeah, every tree does, even dwarfs. They just grow slower.
Yeah, but I can keep it managed. And then this one here is a lemon meringue, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And once again, I don't have issues with disease. I had a little sooty mold this year. Not sooty mold, but powdery mildew.
Yeah.
But now that I know, I'll give it a sulfur treatment so I can avoid that.
Very nice size. I like it. That's really nice. Okay. What do we
This
got
here is a Venus mango. This was planted last August. I had one fruit on it this year.
That's mine too, and so was the coggshall. I just read the labels.
Yeah.
Very good.
And then if we come over here, you'll see the persimmon,
Amazing.
which you have been here before on. It's still loaded with fruit.
Wow. Here we are in
December.
December, and look at this. Now, this is a...
This is a South Florida persimmon. It was planted in 2017. It was a grafted one that Mike had picked up at Zill's. It was the only tree. I had to talk him out of it at the nursery, but he let me take it and plant it. So, and it's seedless. It's really, we were here last time we did this blurb on it, but it's great. The leaves will start to turn color once it gets a little colder, and I'm about ready to pick another batch of fruit off.
And next year, Mike's going to have these for sale at the nursery, right?
We'll see. I've got a project going on to do these, but like I say, it takes forever.
I'll keep everyone updated. If and when they're available, Mike's going to call me and I'm going to go out and do a video about it. But this is amazing. Look, this is South Florida persimmon. This is also known as Hudson, right?
Yes.
Amazing. And
South Florida, tropical, and Hudson.
yes.
Gary put the tropical in South Florida on it. Hudson was the original name out of, I believe, North Florida. Florida,
but they, then there's the Triumph. Those are the only two ones that really do good down here.
I don't even know if the Triumph doesn't do that well down here.
Yeah, and Homestead, they
Oh, they does?
grow it,
Okay.
yeah. Julian has a big Triumph one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
If you come around here, you'll see.
On this one, when you cut it every year as well?
Yes.
Okay, so everything's growing straight up. When do you cut it? When you take the last fruit off?
Well, this past year we waited a little bit because we were going to try and have budwood to graft. So we cut it in the spring.
Now, normally, don't these trees lose all their leaves in the winter
They turn red
and
they drop most.
And will they do that on this?
Yes.
Okay, wow, amazing. What were you going to show me around there?
Over here is a custard apple with fruit on it.
So
this is a seedling. You can see the custard apple. I have fruit.
It says a red custard apple.
Number 7.
Number
My
7.
neighbor had several, and we determined his number 7 was the best flavor. So I took a seed of that and planted it.
Do you know what it's a seedling of?
A red
custard apple.
San Pablo?
No.
Don't know.
Don't know.
No.
Okay.
But this is Ira Smith, same guy.
Okay, we definitely got to get out and check out his property.
He has a gorgeous place. He's very intelligent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's really close to that tree.
I know it's a little too close, but I just had a spot and I stuck it. My mistake. But
now, why do you say it's too close? Because it is working.
Yeah, because I keep it trimmed.
It will get bigger.
Yeah.
And this will go up higher.
Oh, really high?
It could, but I won't let it get that high.
We'll take the top out whenever she wants.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's nice.
I might even keep the budwood off. We might even keep the budwood off of that.
Once we see how this fruit
So 2022, you put it in the ground.
Correct.
And you already got fruit. 2 years. Wow.
Now, this is a super Haas avocado. This tree came from Excalibur, but it's loaded with fruit, and it does ripen a little unevenly.
It's something I got on this side.
Yeah. That's, I was just at another farm and they had a bunch of these and they said they don't ripen unevenly, but I took mine out because they all ripened unevenly.
Yeah.
Every time. The tree was loaded all the time and this tree's loaded right now. Now's the time for it to be.
Yeah. It's actually, they do ripen and they ripen delish.
Okay.
That's new for me, that I'm getting good fruit off it. It was put in 2020. Last year I had mediocre fruit. This year is much better.
So maybe some years they ripen unevenly and some years they don't, maybe. Because I know
it's like a lot of things. The fruit gets better with age.
Yeah.
The tree produces I've noticed that the flavor of the fruit will change as the tree gets older. It'll get a more intense flavor. If you come around here, this is a butterscotch sapodilla. And I have fruit set on it this year, first time. It was planted last March, 2023, but you can see the fruit on it.
Where'd you get that one?
From Vince Food Forest up in Port St. Lucie.
Okay. So butterscotch.
Yeah.
Well, I have 2 in the ground that one of them's loaded right now. You can come see it, but it's okay. Have you tasted it?
No, I haven't tasted it.
I know you have and you love it.
I tasted it at Zill's. Phenomenal. Best.
But
flavor.
they say, and we'll see because my tree is loaded, but they say it's a Shibera. But we'll see. But look,
I don't know. Look at this.
There's a fruit on there, or 2 fruits.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. All right. What do we got next?
Okay, over here.
Beautiful. This is a beautiful place. Look at this, everybody. Wow.
This is a San Pablo custard apple grafted on pond apple.
Okay.
From Fruitscapes, and next to it is a San Pablo seedling. just a regular seedling. This area gets very wet, so I've tried to put some stuff in here that's grafted on pond apple so it's happy during the wet season. This here is...
You left those really close on purpose?
Yeah, it's just how it worked out.
Okay, that'll work. It'll work. You can make it work. Okay.
This here is a Havana custard apple grafted on pond apple. It's a yellow one. And then this here is a cherolata. I've had fruit on this. This was planted last year in July, once again grafted on pond apple. And I had cherolata this year. And this was a Gardner Adamoya that I grafted onto pond apple. I don't know if it's going to make it or not. Sometimes when you graft Adamoya onto pond apple, you're supposed to put it on interstock. You're supposed to graft verticulata or custard apple onto pond apple and then graft the Adamoya. So I figured, what the hell, I could put it in here. If it croaks in 2 years, I'll replace it.
Are these self-pollinating, all of these annuals you got? Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
This is the one that we grafted the interstock on for her for next year.
For next year.
For next year, we're going to put Adamoyas on it. I don't know which one she wants, but I've got a couple of them that are
we
pond
put
apple,
custard
apple,
and then we're going to put
next year we put the other one. And everybody wants to know why we don't sell pond apple and Adamoyas. It's a lot of trouble. I mean, it's something.
Dr. Crane at IFAS, who's down at Trek, told us that after a couple of years, they won't be compatible.
Okay.
And they could not work. We're going to see. We're trying it.
I love experiments.
This is a sweet tamarind. This was a little seedling that a friend gave me.
And it's flowering now.
Yeah, I had fruit last year. I love the flowers on it.
Okay.
This is my grumachama that a friend gave me in 2017, January, and I've cut it back. This year I had 2 full sets of fruit on it.
Do you ever get any worms in the fruit?
No.
I do.
You do?
Not this one, knock on wood, no.
All right, that's a nice sized tree. How old is that tree?
It went in the ground in 2017, but it came to me in a pot, very unhappy, and it just loves it here.
Wow.
This is a black pearl wax jambu. I have another wax jambu on the other side, but I love the fruit. It's so much fun. This here is a rose apple, and you can see it's getting ready to bloom.
Yeah, there's flowers here. There's flowers right here.
Yeah, and the fruit is delish.
It really is.
And it smells and tastes like roses.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I notice here in the front you don't have a fence. Any issues with walk-by traffic or drive-by traffic taking fruit?
Not yet.
Okay.
We have to, the way it is, this is like an equestrian community, so it has to be 10 feet. So I've kind of pushed the boundary. So, but no, somebody took my Valencia Pride. I had 1 fruit on the Valencia Pride on the other side. That disappeared. But everything else, the neighbors just love it. They want to always see what I'm putting in. They're reading my signs.
What about squirrels and things like that?
Oh, squirrels, raccoons, possums.
Got the one Valencia Pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, rose apple, that's really nice.
Yeah.
I love that fruit.
This here is a cotton candy mango.
Okay.
I haven't had fruit yet on it. I'm hoping this year. This one over here is the...
Very sweet, the cotton candy.
Well, where's the water? You said you had irrigation going on then?
Pops up for you.
It pops up.
Got you.
I would say.
Oh, that's a sprinkler.
Nope.
Okay.
That's a little...
All right, what is that?
That is a sugarloaf.
Sugarloaf, okay.
And then that's my Buddha belly bamboo, because I just love the way Buddha belly bamboo looks like.
If I was going to do one that had the coconutty flavor, other than, what is it, Bolt? Is that the new one they have out? They say that's amazing from Dr. Campbell. But Sugarloaf, I love that one. I like M4. She's not as crazy about the M4. And I have those 5 monstrous coconut creams. You get a couple. I only get a couple fruit on my 5 trees. I would go with Sugarloaf or M4.
I had fruit on that this year. Just a couple, but I still had fruit.
What did,
Wow,
do you
yeah.
like it?
Yeah, it was
It's
good.
totally amazing.
It's great. It's challenging to pick because it stays green, but it's wonderful fruit.
Correct.
This is one of Gary's.
This is a
amazing-
Glen mango. I just needed a traditional Glen. You can see my dragon fruit up in this palm. This, unfortunately, is not a self-pollinating dragon fruit, so I haven't had luck yet getting
Okay.
fruit from this pitaya. But over here, this is the honey kiss.
Oh, I love it. This is a great late season variety.
Oh, this is awesome.
So is Venus. We walked by Venus.
Venus is good.
Yeah, we're going
now.
to go over. We haven't been by Venus yet.
Yeah,
That's
we
on.
did. Yeah.
And we haven't done it officially yet, but this is a great one.
Yeah.
And then this is a neem tree that came as a seedling,
Okay.
because it's always good to take a munch and clean your teeth.
Did we do this one?
Yeah, this was another mislabeled one from the Palm Beach Rare Fruit Council. This I have bought as a Glen. It's not. It's a Namdak Mai.
Okay.
So Alex over at Alex Salzazar identified the fruit for me.
Okay.
So this is a pineapple pleasure because I just think this is an incredible tasting mango.
Absolutely is.
This is the M4.
So you got two M4s.
No, just one M4.
What was that one? Oh, that one was
Sugarloaf.
Okay, yeah. Mike mentioned M4. Okay, that's M4.
This is M4. And that's a kit.
Okay.
Or keat. I'm not sure how you say it.
Yeah, either we know which one.
And this here is the Sweetheart lychee. I had one I had to yank because it had got the disease.
It might, yeah.
But this one has been fine. I have an Emperor lychee there. I don't know if you want to go up in the up on the raised bed area now.
Sure. And what
Okay.
about this here?
Oh, these are loblollies.
Okay.
They're native to this
They
area.
don't sound edible.
They're not.
Okay. We'll just pass on that one.
And this is my raised bed area. You can see the asparagus down here. Oh, there's getting one ready to pick. And this is my Ceylon cinnamon. You can see it's starting to flower. This winter, I hope to do some cinnamon preparation. This here is the Bruce Canistel from the tree at Trek that had unbelievable fruit. So Mike got some budwood and grafted it for me. We had some flowers looking. I don't know if they've come out yet. And then over here, this is an abused seedling.
Okay, Abu.
And this went in the ground in February 22.
Very nice.
And I have a couple more that are coming up that I'll plant because I think you need more than one for good pollination.
Different kinds of them. I have two huge trees, monsters. Flower, thousands and thousands of flowers, no fruit. I got 10 7-gallon grafted trees from Zill, put them in between the two trees. They all went off on fruit. The grafted trees are very hard to raise. I mean, everybody I know that gets a grafted tree and plants it, they usually die.
Yeah, I had one die.
I had several die
So you recommend a seedling and have two of them.
from different places.
How close or far should they be there?
My trees are about 10 foot apart.
But if they're how far can they get away with? Down the block, a mile?
Yeah, bees are moving pollen 3 to 5
Okay, because
miles.
my neighbor has one and I have one.
That's
so-
fine.
Great.
Yeah.
You said when the tree is flowering, the bees will go to both the trees.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to put one, when the seedling gets big enough, I'm going to put it up in over there because I need to keep this cinnamon a little more under control.
All right. You got a beautiful garden here. You got.
Oh, yeah,
some
thank you. The
green-
jicama is crazy. But these papaya, this is a Hawaiian papaya. It's called Sunrise Strawberry Papaya. And the fruit is small, but it's delicious. It's very different tasting than other papayas.
Wow.
And I wasn't sure, but my sister, who's a papaya doesn't really like papaya, loves this one.
Now, some people say that particular variety or the small Hawaiian ones have a GMO.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody gave me this as a seedling. I'm not sure. This is an imbi that we grafted. It's self-pollinating. This is one we did, Mike. So I put it in here so it doesn't get full sun because they're a little more tender. You can see I have a couple of dragon fruit. Please excuse the weeds, but I had fruit on these dragon fruit. This is a papaya that had been here.
The budwood from this imbi. Oh, she's already too far. The budwood from this imbi we got from Zane. Zane brought it up to me. I don't remember what they wanted, but this came from Gene Joyner's before he passed away. Another very smart, intelligent man. This was his, so.
Yeah, I had him on the show.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Now, this papaya had been here, but it is absolutely delicious. And it's one of those male-female papayas, though I think this is the other version because it's having another branch come out. That's like another tree. Crazy.
Yeah.
And then it keeps, one came down in one of the storms. So more seedlings have popped up. You can see around. There's more dragon fruit. And then those are Ecuadorian papayas in pots. But it's not the right climate. They need less humidity. So, and then that's where we'll be grafting some of those mames and other things. But that's up here. I have a calamundan in the corner and a papaya volunteer behind it growing up. We've had fruit on this dragon fruit is a Vietnamese pink or a Vietnamese dragon fruit. And then the garden with...
Looking wonderful.
Yeah.
Good job.
I haven't gotten to the weeds yet, but there's always weeds.
So do you have a septic tank here or are you city sewage?
No, septic. 2 septic tanks.
And where is that?
There's one up there underneath one of the beds, and there's another where the Adamoyas are.
Okay.
We haven't gotten there yet.
How close do you plan to the drain field? Where is your drain field?
Well, this is okay. I had a mame that I planted as a seedling on the drain field, and it went on steroids. It was huge. And it's like, oh no, this is too close. So I cut it down. The roots were 3 inches.
Wow, did it mess up your drain field?
Not yet.
Oh, good.
So, but I was worried. This is a patomba from Mike.
Okay.
I love the fruit on this one.
Yeah,
it's great.
Very good.
It's just nice little apricot flavored, nice little fruit, little cherry.
Yep.
Eugene or something.
Yeah, it's Eugenia, Luciana, whatever. This is a Barbados cherry. This here is a Jaboticaba. It's a little too much sun probably for it, but it gets wet, so it kind of compensates. This is my Emperor lychee. This is the best lychee. The fruit are huge. The pit's big, but oh my God, it's so good. And I've been able to keep the tree manageable.
Yeah.
So, and then I have over here is my Monstera. Has fruit on it in the corner.
Okay. We missed that one.
That's a Sugar Bay Magnolia.
Okay.
Not really edible.
Okay.
This is a banana grove that kind of got really screwed up in the storm. A lot came down.
What varieties are there? Different or
I had all different. I don't really remember. There's a red, there's blue Java, there's a Puerto Rican.
So you got a bunch.
Cavendish,
okay.
yeah. And then this here is the fruit punch mango.
Excellent. Excellent.
I had the lychee was here and I had to pull it out. So I replaced it with a mango. Then over here.
You can never have too many mangoes.
Exactly.
This is a Jaboticaba that a friend gave me that I had up in the front. Was too much sun, so it's doing much better here.
I got a question for Mike. Is it better if you don't have that much space to get fruit and budwood? Is it better to have a mango tree in the ground and keep it really trimmed back, or to let it grow in a big pot?
Big pots are fine. I mean, you know, it all depends on what they are. Your Valencia Pride, kind of hard to hold back. Kent and Keat, kind of hard to hold back. But Pickering and...
But it'll do just as good in the pot as it would as in the ground?
Oh, yeah. You can probably take better care of them in the pots because you know what they're doing.
Okay.
I mean, mangoes do fine in pots.
Okay.
It all depends on how big the pot is.
Okay.
This is another Barbados cherry.
Okay.
This is an incredible lemon drop mangosteen.
Yeah, I've had these. These are amazing.
Oops, sorry.
These are amazing. And Mike has these on his farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are just great.
All right.
This is a
And the
red
dogs protect the
alama.
fruit. There's all the dogs.
Yeah. This is a red alama, Genova red. This here is a Rollinia. It came from Mike. He called it a jungle Rollinia. I've had fruit on it. The storm whipped it up pretty good, so you can see.
My Rollinia just died back for no reason. I got my first fruit last year and it just died back.
Huh.
But it happens.
This is a dwarf Hawaiian mango. Maybe a little too close, but once again, a slow grower. I can keep it managed. This is a bacon avocado that I grafted last year. So I don't know when we'll see fruit.
Okay.
This is my pineapples along the edge there. And this is a Spirit of 76. I put this in 2015. And I've kept it really trimmed back.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And tried to keep it open. But oh, the fruit on this is so delicious.
How many do you get? A good amount?
It depends. Not as good as some of the others. Maybe 3-4 dozen,
That's
which is
good.
plenty.
Yeah. So what are these big trees? Just shade?
These are queen myrtles.
Not edible.
Not edible. The middle one might come out. I'm debating. This here is an Annona. It's a new variety. I don't know. I've never had the fruit on this. Annona diacacia, whatever. It's supposed to be very good. We'll see. This is Montinga, or the strawberry tree.
Okay.
We have in the back another Rollinia. This is a
Rollinia, okay.
Yeah, this is a green sugar apple, but if you come here, there's a couple of different Garcinias. This is a Luke's Garcinia, just planted this March, but it's happy. This is an achacharu, which I love the fruit on that. Another achacharu.
Has it fruited yet? The achacharu?
No, it takes forever.
Mike, you have any fruiting ones in your farm?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have the two big old trees, and from the people I've talked to, it's the best fruit I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
Zane says that there's one that tastes a little sweeter down in Loxahatchee. That could be a seasonal thing, you know, whether his tree is good one year and mine's better the next, or his is, better all the time. But my fruit on my tree, and you've tasted the fruit on my tree.
Yeah. Are these bigger trees, or can they get big?
Oh, yeah.
They can.
Yeah.
I let them get big.
Nice. So 2 acharus, okay.
And then that was supposed to be a chacharu, but it's actually mislabeled. It's a lemon drop mangosteen.
Okay.
This is another Patomba. This here is a mame apple that we grafted. Mike grafted for me from the tree at the Fruit and Spice Park.
That Redlands variety, right?
Yes. One thing we learned, I think, when we did these a long time ago, we bagged them. One of the years, we wrapped them. The ones that we bagged did a lot better than wrapping.
On the mame apple,
On the mame
okay.
apple. Some things are like,
Mame Americana, yep.
that's just like the regular mame sapote. From what I understand, you prep the wood, get it ready, take the new growth off of it, and then you cut a third of the leaf, the leaves down to leave a third on, and then you bag them. Now, we were going to do my pumpkin pie this year because, I wanted all the the budwood, if we could get off of it, it went into flower. So we're not going to touch it.
That's a jujube there.
Thai, thornless Thai?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a guanabana.
Okay. Seedling?
There was a fruit on it. Yeah, there's still a fruit.
Is it a seedling?
Yeah, but it has great fruit. You can see there's a fruit here.
Yep.
And then, there was some flowers, but it doesn't like any kind of cold, and it didn't like the wind. And next to it is a special sugar apple, the Nadai. I haven't tasted the fruit. I had one fruit. It was good. And then this here is an Adamoya. This is a Gardner. A friend has this Gardner that's just incredible. So that's good. Over here, there's a green sapote. We're trying. People haven't had luck with it here, but we're going to try it. And I have the passion flower vines around the orchid trees.
Okay, those are orchid trees.
Yeah, this is a Fuang Tong carambola. It's incredible. It's like my favorite carambola. There's fruit on that. This is the green sapote, and then my elderberries are over there in the raised beds. And then the only other thing up here, this is a powder puff, an ornamental. This is a mame seedling. My neighbor, Iris Smith, has a mame that fruited after 20 some odd years, and it was the best fruit I've ever had. So this is a seedling from that. We'll see how long it takes to fruit.
Yeah, how long has that been in the ground?
That was in the ground in 2018.
Okay.
And then there's two more Adamoyas here. Once again, the wind kind of hit him hard. This is an African Pride just put in this year, or last year in October. And this is a different one. It's from the African Pride to a Calestro.
Okay.
So, and then we have this side before we do...
What was that tree? The big one?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a loquat, a sherry loquat.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know if you want to go up and do the Adamoyas and then come around.
Whatever you want.
Okay. That's a Lisa Adamoya right there.
Okay.
This here is an Australian that Mike grafted. He doesn't know the variety, but it has incredible fruit. This here is a durian Adamoya, just put in.
Yep. Mike told me about that last time we were there.
Yeah. And that's a Priestley.
Okay.
With incredible fruit. This is a Dream, PPC. And then, I'm sorry, that's a Gardner, and then the other side of that is PPC. And then the big one is a Lisa.
And all of these are fruiting, the bigger ones?
Yeah, everything is fruited.
Wow.
Everything. And then these are gardenias that were here.
Do they all fruit at different times? Do all these varieties fruit at different times or the same time?
Kind of close to the same time. The pinks, and then over on the rest of the Adamoya tour, you can see there's another PPC. There's a Page. This is a red Gardner that we just grafted. And then that's a Pink's Mammoth that doesn't like to stay controlled. But oh my God, the fruit were so good.
Really? Wow.
I was amazed.
And here's a
Silas Woods Sapodilla.
Okay.
That I planted in 2016, and it's abundant, constantly with fruit. All right, then we'll go back. Oh, the other Adamoyas, this is a new one. This is a Hillary White, and this is a Lingstrom.
I haven't even heard of some of these.
And then we have two more coming. We tried for budwood.
We go all over looking for these things.
Yeah, it's my obsession.
I find something and she says, let's go.
So we'll just the rest here is these are two kumquats.
Okay.
These are really good. These are the Maui. These are my favorite, and the other is in Nagasaki. The Maui is much sweeter.
Those are very cold hardy too. Those will grow in zone 8. Okay.
Yeah. This here is another guanabana or soursop.
Okay.
It's not as great a bearer as the other one, but they're both seedlings. You can see that the cold is the little bit of chill we had drops its leaves.
Now, I asked Mike this last time. I'll ask you. Have you heard about the toxin in the Annona family in the fruit?
In the seeds.
Well, some people say it's in the seeds and the skin. Some people say it's in the pulp.
I have only heard about it in the seeds and the skin, not in the pulp.
Okay.
Everything I read said it's a neurotoxin and it's in the seeds.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, more and more studies come out about it. We'll see.
Yeah, this is a Philippine sugar apple, a seedling from a friend. I haven't had fruit yet, but it's just 2021. And then if we walk around the corner, these are incredible pomegranates. The Vietnamese pink.
Oh, the Vietnamese pink. Okay.
Yeah, and now it fruits year round, but now is when it sets the best fruit.
But correct me if I'm wrong. You have to juice them. They're too hard to.
No.
Oh, you can eat them. Okay.
Yeah, I eat them out of hand.
Okay. Because I had a Vietnamese that was fruiting, but it was just too hard. You had to juice them.
Yeah, we know when they're ripe when they split.
Yeah. Okay, you got a bunch in there.
So, this here is a lime quat, which I haven't lost to greening and has been very prolific. It's been in its blooming again.
Nice.
Peanut butter tree or plant.
Peanut butter fruit right here?
Yeah.
Very nice.
I love them.
Yeah, they're great.
This is an orange crushed jackfruit, which I had great fruit on. This over here is the Ross sapote, which I don't know. It's not happy, but it hasn't croaked on me. Hasn't really set fruit either. This is an Edward mango.
Okay. So did you get rid of your only white sapote, or?
Yeah, I had 2 and I got rid of both.
Okay.
But they would have to go somewhere up here where it's higher ground.
Yeah.
They don't like to sit low.
They don't like water. I learned that.
This is an incredible sapodilla. This is the Thomas sapodilla. I think the original tree is down at Alex Salazar's. The fruit are huge and they're delicious. Really, really good. That's a Buck's avocado. Haven't had fruit on that yet. I'm being patient.
Well, what's the season? I've heard about it. What's the
It's supposed to be, April, May.
Okay, another April, May one.
Yeah. That's my pumpkin pie mame I got from Zane. So that should be good. This here is a worst avocado.
Okay.
Once again, I haven't had fruit on these 2 yet. That's my Valencia Pride mango.
Good spot for it.
Yeah, that just gets big no matter what you do.
Sure.
That's a Kerry.
Okay.
And that one I almost yanked because it just seemed that it was nothing. It was all male flowers. And then it decided to set fruit. Give it a little couple years and it's been incredible. Still not as heavy or as prolific as some of the others, but delish. This is a Buq longan, which when you don't have a lot of lychees, it's nice to have the longan.
And this is a very good sweet. Not as productive as Kohala. Kohala's more for production. He has one too.
Yeah.
But there, it's. I have 2 of these. I don't have a Kohala because we eat the fruit. All my trees are for me, and
the fruit's delicious. It does get the Sri Lankan weevil now and then. So, oh well. This is an ice cream mango. And that little one over there is an orange sherbet.
Okay.
This is a guava. I'm not sure it's in the right spot. It hasn't really done much, but we'll see. I had one that I had in the lower field and was very, very prolific, and then it was like too much water, and I lost it. This is a Zane's red jackfruit that Mike and I are doing the approach graft on to see if it will take. Because I have that limb I have to really cut off.
So that's how you do the approach graft, everybody. Explain this, Mike. Here.
Okay.
Let him hold your mic.
This tree right here is a grafted. It's the what you call it?
Zane's red.
Zane's red.
This is Zane's red. This is Zane's, and he was real pleased with the fruit and everything. So we bought this down at Zane's. We were gonna take this limb off, but I said, well, let's try to graft it. And then we talked to this other guy, Tim, and he's the one who was doing the approach grafts on the durians. So they're hard to do, and I've never really grafted a lot of jackfruit, so we figured we'd try it. And we brought it up, skint the bark off of this limb that's coming up. We skint part of the bark off of it. This is the rootstock.
That's a seedling.
Yeah,
this,
okay.
this is the jackfruit.
Bangkok lemon. Sorry.
Yeah, Bangkok lemon. This is the rootstock. So we brought this limb over to it, skint part of it off that, pushed them together as good as we could, and then we tied it up as tight as we could to keep it together. Now we'll leave that on there for a long time and see what the heck happens.
What's supposed to happen?
What you do is you cut this off right here. This is the rootstock.
Yes.
You cut the rootstock off, and then, after you unwrap it and stuff, you can cut it closer. But we're going to cut it off down here, and then we'll take this, cut that off maybe there too, and then we'll take the pot away and leave it sit on there again. We won't unwrap it. We'll leave it wrapped for a while longer.
So the goal with this was to get the red Zane's red onto this.
Onto the rootstock.
And then once it takes, this will turn into Zane's red. How's that?
No, we'll cut that off.
You cut that.
We'll cut that off down at where.
Oh, and then this will grow.
And then that'll grow.
This will grow.
Because you got the rootstock here growing this. Now, what if you want to do it the other way? What if you had one here that you wanted to put on here? You just do the same thing reverse?
Yeah, you could. You could do it on a limb like this. Take this limb here and put it onto this one. But it's
So you do the same thing in reverse.
Yep.
Got ya. Very nice.
But you could see we couldn't leave that limb on the tree. It wasn't really good for the tree, so we thought we'd try this before we cut it off.
We don't like the, this is one, like I say, she got from Zane, and hard to get one. I mean, I think he's the only one who has it, so.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
We'll give it a try and see if. Now, Ruth is grafting a lot of trees with me, and she takes whatever she wants because they're working sometimes for several hours and sometimes comes 2 and 3 times a week because we're working on Adamoy as her passion. I'm getting this tree for free from Ruth.
We trade back and forth, labor for trees.
That's the way you do it in this,
Everybody, I'm going to put a link below to Mike's website, and I'll also put a link to the Martin County, if you want me to.
Yes, and I would, maybe you can make a note that on, I think it's June 14th, on Saturday, June 14th, we do a Taste of the Tropics, where it's open to everybody. You come to the Martin County Fairgrounds, you can taste all sorts of tropical fruit, you can buy trees from Mike, you can hear lectures, and you can see the display of all the budwood, all the foliage, all the fruit, all on display.
Well, depending when we air this and when everybody's watching this, we're right now in December 2024, or almost the end of November. So keep that in mind when you're watching this, whoever's watching. But
I'll remind you.
June 15th?
Yeah, that's Saturday.
Okay, 2025.
You'll be in my place in June looking at mango.
Absolutely.
I know you will.
So we'll do a plug then.
Mike gives away free mangoes to Paul.
I'll also put the link below to Zane's, where Mike says he gets some trees from.
Zane has all kinds of unusual stuff that's hard to get.
Yeah, I'll put a link below to that.
He's got a lot of amazing stuff.
This is a Brogdon avocado.
Okay.
It's kind of a shy bearer, but the fruit are lovely. This, oh wait, we missed there's a mulberry, the normal mulberry on the other side of the pomegranates, but this is the dwarf mulberry, the everbearing. You can see it's flowering now. That's a Namdok 4.
Okay.
And this is the Black Beauty Black Sapote.
Okay.
That I had fruit on this into June last year. We ended up tasting this at the Taste of the Tropics because I had so much fruit becoming ripe.
Wow.
And it's blooming now. It has fruit set. You can see here's a fruit. Here's another one starting. Here's a fruit here. It's loaded with fruit.
Sometimes when the trees are happy, they fruit when they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
That's a cinnamon apple. It was a little seedling we dug up at the Fruit and Spice Park. So we'll see if it'll fruit. I'm not sure.
They let you dig up a tree there?
No.
No, they said we could dig up.
They said we could. Okay.
Okay.
No, it was a very tiny seedling.
Got it. Okay.
No, we had permission to take
Good,
Okay, I didn't
photo
remember.
it.
When you get old, the mind.
No, we had permission. That there is a Kerry starfruit.
Okay.
These are, we have a red, we have a green of the Australian finger limes.
Oh, nice.
This here is a Persian lime.
Any fruit yet on the finger limes?
Yes, on the green, not on the red.
Okay. Persian lime. Okay.
Yeah, this is a Persian lime just because I love Persian lime.
Okay.
I've yanked them because of greening and then I replaced. So
Okay, I was going to ask you how the citrus does here.
we have greening.
Okay.
And then here is my sweet tart that I planted last year.
Sure.
And I haven't had fruit, but this is the Venus that I've had lots of fruit. And this is a great one. It's supposed to be more of the smaller variety. Alex says it's a lot of female flowers, a lot of good fruit.
Yeah.
What is that?
Venus.
The Venus.
Okay.
And what's that big one we turned around and looked at right here behind it?
That's the Maha Chinook.
That's the Mahashinook.
If I was to have one mango only for the most prolific and delicious fruit, just one, I would take the Maha.
If you could have one, what would you have?
Okay, if I was going to do a grove, I would plant it in Maha and sweet tart. Two of the highly productive trees that we have.
Okay.
Everybody says the same thing. Maha, just a heavy producer for everybody, and sweet tart, same thing. Now, if you're going to plant a place and you're putting trees in just for yourself, ones. But if you're going to plant a massive thing just for production, Maha and sweet tart.
One small yard, one tree. You can only plant for yourself only. What would you plant? You would plant a Maha. What would you plant?
I mean, I love sweet tart, but it gets to be a big tree.
And it's not traditional mango.
And it's not consistent.
Sweet tart is for me, but
In producing?
yeah, but the woodpeckers and squirrels hurt me this year.
Guy.
But Maha is just such a heavy producer. It takes a little while to start producing, but once it does, it puts out a ton of fruit.
And the one behind you is a wax jambu, a red wax jambu. I tried the Malay apple, but we got too cold here for the Malay. It didn't make it.
This is just beautiful.
It is. I thank you, Ruth, for having us come on out here.
Thank you for coming and letting me show it off.
This was wonderful. All right, everybody, there it was. That was Ruth's yard here. And Ruth, thank you so much for showing us around. That was wonderful. Actually, not only was it wonderful, one of the favorite personal yards I've ever been in. I love the way she's thinking ahead about spacing, about planting it, and all that information. Of course, she's doing well, but she's a member of the
Martin County Master
Garden Club, and also she's great friends and neighbors practically with Mike from Trees and More. So you know her yard's going to be strategically planted out well, and it is. I mean, to me, this place is amazing. The gold mine. I love all fruit trees, but the most special thing I think she has personally is that persimmon tree. Wow. We're in South Florida and it's loaded. And I'm going to get some before I go here. And that's just amazing. Thank you for having us come on out.
Thank you for coming.
Everybody, put your comments or questions below. I'll put those links below to all those other places we spoke about. Have a great day. And if you have a yard and you'd like me to come out and feature on a show, please contact me. My email's below. Until then, everybody, keep growing. For more educational videos about mangoes and other fruits and how to grow fruit trees, please look out the other videos on this channel, Fruitful Trees, and also subscribe if you like, and also share these videos with others. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and keep growing.